So, Mark, you first, your reaction to this latest honor.
Well, I think when I saw when it first came out that there was going to be the team was going to be awarded the best team of the century, I immediately thought, well, it's going to be one of our teams because the differentiator was always been Wayne. So I knew we had a good chance. I didn't know which team it was going to be, but the 85 team. Which is very interesting. It might not have been our most talented team, but obviously it was one of our best teams for the way that we came together as a team, which was very interesting.
Where does this rank for you?
Well, first of all, we're getting dizzy, this thing going around. And you gave Glenn a lob ball. He was a horrible hockey player. You know what? Listen, we're so honored, and we had an opportunity before this to sit down with guys like Dennis Potvin, and there's so many great teams. Montreal Canadiens, the Islander teams, which helped us so much become the team we became, and the Montreal Canadiens and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I think the difference was probably the fans of Edmonton. They really believed in us, and they stood behind us and carried us, and here we are today. We're all here with heavy hearts because 27 is not with us. And unfortunately, Ted Green, who's a big part of our organization, is not here tonight. But it's a really special group of guys. And I heard Glenn talk about Yaroslav Pozar and people like Yuri and Esatikinen that come from over the pond. When we see each other, we're all so excited. It's really like a family. And each person was treated the same because of people like Mark and people like Lee Fogelin and Kevin Lowe. It was a really unique scenario in the sense that every person felt comfortable in our locker room.
The stats of 84-85 would suggest that you got better as things got longer in that season. And in fact, 47 playoff points would prove that, part of 255 combined regular season and playoff points, both a record. Do you remember saying, we got to keep getting better to win a second time? And in fact, you did, and I guess the team did too.
We didn't really talk about that, did we? We just kind of practiced and played and had fun and pulled together. We had learned so much when we lost our first cup to the Islanders because we had so much respect for them as a team, and we matured tremendously over that course of 12 months. So when we got in the second year, and we played in Philadelphia that year, and Philadelphia was always a tough arena to play in. It was the Spectrum, and I remember being a kid with Bobby Clark and Kate Smith and the whole thing. And we lost game one in Philadelphia, and we played really bad. Paul and I were, in Glenn's mind, especially bad, and we got a little bit of a tongue lashing after the game. But I remember the next game we were playing, and puck was in the corner. Philadelphia was a big team, and Mike Keenan was a very good coach, and you know, Pelle Lindbergh was this new hot young goaltender, and we had a scrum in the corner, and Rick Tocchet, who went on to be one of my closer friends in hockey at that time, was this big tough guy with long hair, and he was cross-checking me in the corner. I was trying to freeze the puck, and he was whacking me and hacking me, and I said, my gosh, relax. And I'll never forget, he said, get used to it. Every shift, every period, every game, all 7 game long. And I turned to him and I said, well, I only plan on playing 4 more. I don't know. So we came out of the corner and everybody was laughing, and all the guys on the bench were, what happened down there? I said, I don't know. But you know, it was a special team, and I know how talented the group was, but you can't say enough about the character of guys like Mark and Paul Coffey and Kevin Lowe and Willie Lindstrom and Pat Hughes, and nobody had an ego. It was just really a close group, and that's what made the team so special.
I have your stats, Mark, from that year. Your goals per game in the playoffs was never better than in 85, 12 goals, 18 games. But during the regular season, only 55 games because of injuries and, can't read my writing here, suspension. And it was, I believe, your first full season as a center. What are your memories of 84, 85, where you particularly were concerned?
Well, I think 84, 85, first of all, it never felt easy to us. I think everybody felt that we had such a strong team that it must have been easy for us, but I can remember going to sleep many nights before games and being nervous and scared to death that we weren't going to win. And I think the fear of losing was always, in the back of our minds because of what we had experienced the year before. So I think that was one of the drivers for us. I just remember that it was an incredible feeling for us to win a Stanley Cup finally after a 5-year journey. And here we were on the journey to do it again for the second year in a row, and we were hungry. We were very hungry to do it again. And we had a team that was capable of doing that. We understood the nuances of winning better. We knew the sequence of how the playoffs went, and we were just more experienced. We were more seasoned, and it showed. I think through the whole regular season, we knew how to prepare ourselves better. We knew how to get ourselves ready for the playoffs. We knew what to expect, and because of it. It was reflected in our play, but I can tell you that it was always nerve-wracking. It was never easy, but what an amazing season it was for us.
Please bear with me, you especially. I've told this story once before, and the audience seemed to like it, and I'm encouraged to tell it again. March 5th, 1983, Wayne Gretzky scored 5 points in a 6-3 win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2 goals, 3 assists on 3 goals by Yari Curry, including his 100th career goal. And following the game on Hockey Night in Canada, prior to a post-game interview, I asked Wayne if he would sign my scoring summary because it was my son's 4th birthday that day. And sure enough, as I expected he would, he did. On my way out of the arena, an usher yelled to me and said, "Mr. Gretzky left something for you." And I said, "What could that have been?" And he said, "It's the stick he used to score 5 points in tonight's game." And I looked at it and it said, "Happy birthday, Dennis, your friend, Wayne Gretzky." The story doesn't end there because the next morning, one day late for the birthday, I presented this stick to my son and thought he would be thrilled, and I think he was half thrilled, but also had a quizzical look on his face. And I said, "What's that for?" And he said, "What will Mr. Gretzky do for a stick in his next game?" And his 6-year-old sister at the breakfast table said, "He'll do what we do, stupid. He'll go to Canadian Tire and buy a new one." So that tells you all you need to know about kids and about this guy and about all of these guys with that kind of a heart and that kind of understanding about what fans mean and what fans are all about to this game. Once more, number 11 and number 99. You take those with you.